Hello, everybody. It is Thursday, April 2nd, and welcome back to the Nick Watkins Show. I'm Nick Watkins. Let's get into it. We have so much to talk about today. We're going to start it with hockey. There were three games yesterday, all of them very, very exciting. We'll start with the Sharks, though. So, last night, the San Jose Sharks faced off against the Anaheim Ducks in a crucial game for the Western Conference. The Ducks at the top of the Pacific trying to extend their lead on Edmonton and Vegas, and the Sharks on the outside looking in the hunt for the final wildcard spot, needed this win to tie Nashville. What happened? The Sharks won 4-3 over Anaheim in a crazy game. This game was absolutely nuts. So let's recap what happened. Lots of penalties in the first period. The Ducks were not able to cash in on any of those power plays they had in the first. They had like three power play chances. But the Sharks were the ones who struck first. Will Smith on the power play off of an assist from Macklin, making it 1-0. That was with 15 minutes into the game, or 15 minutes left in the first period. 18 minutes into the period, 2 minutes left. Poling scored um, a game-tying goal. I must say, Yaroslav Askarov made some incredible saves in the first period and all throughout the game. Really, both goalies were really, really good last night. Made some incredibly athletic plays. So it was 1-1 going into the second period. Then Killorn scored for the Ducks, made it 2-1. 30 seconds into the third period, Macklin Celebrini buried one. He shot this puck. Actually, I don't think it was this one. I think it was the other one. But yeah. No, Will Smith skated in, went behind, found his buddy Macklin for Macklin's first goal of the game. Tied it up. Then the Ducks went down a couple minutes later, 4 minutes later, and Terry scored the lead-taking goal. He shot it, and Askarov made the save, but then it bounced off, and off the rebound, Terry got his own rebound and scored. A fight happened later, like right after that. And the Sharks were being aggressive, but the Ducks seemingly had some of the momentum in that third period, but for the beginning of the third period. But the Sharks, what they did is they pulled the goalie, they sent Askarov to the bench, brought out the extra attacker, and it paid off because with their backs to the wall, the net empty behind them, Macklin Celebrini got in and bombed one in from 42 feet out, a game-tying goal. He shot this puck so hard that they couldn't find it because it got stuck in the net. That's how hard he shot this. This was an absolute missile. And the Sharks were able to tie the game from this goal from Macklin. What a game Macklin had. And then, that was with 1 minute and 39 seconds left. Then, a minute and 8 seconds later, the Sharks once again had the puck down low. Wenberg skated in. He was being harassed, just getting tied up. He was really struggling to control the puck when he was driving in there because he was being pressured so hard by the Ducks. But somehow he managed to stay with it. Incredible stick handling skills from Wenberg because he easily could have lost the puck. He had three different guys at points in his in that skate with the puck go at him and try and get to the puck, but he managed to stick with it, get it out. It ended up to Macklin, who got it back to Wenberg, who buried it with 31 seconds left to take the lead, and the Sharks would not give up that lead. Held on for the final 30 seconds, the final half minute of the game, and won 4-3. Incredible, incredible comeback victory. Fantastic finish, like the Sharks have been doing so often. Amazing. Excuse me. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Let's talk about the key contributors in this game. Yaroslav Askarov was 28 for 31 on saves. He saved all 5 of the power play shots that the Ducks had on him. Did not give up a goal on the power play. He made some incredibly athletic plays, some great saves. You also got to shout out Dostal as well, who made 17 saves on 21 shots, but he made some ridiculously good saves. Both goalies were at the top of their game last night, and yes, they did let in some goals, but some of the saves they made were more impressive, and really got to shout both of them out, but Askarov especially because he got the win in this one with 28 saves. And then you also got to shout out Macklin Celebrini. He is just that good. He already passed 100 points, but he added 4 points on last night. 2 goals and 2 assists. He was involved in every single goal for the San Jose Sharks last night. Will Smith had the first goal of the game, and he had 2 assists, 3 points for Smitty. And then Wenberg, he had the game-winning goal, but it really felt like, just from the face-offs winning, and yeah, he won 15 out of 19 faceoffs, and he had the game-winning goal. He felt like he was very involved the entire game, and it went to him for the end shot. He nailed it. He buried it. So those are the kind of the key performers: Askarov, Celebrini, Smith, and Wenberg. It was a great game for the Sharks, and those guys were the key reasons for this victory. All right. Other games from around the hockey league before we get into the standings and the playoffs. The Kings beat the Blues in overtime. This is not good for us because now the Kings are an 8th seed and they have the final wild card spot over Nashville. And the Blues get a point too, which is not good for us. This is kind of worst case scenario. The Canucks beat the Avalanche. This is crazy. The Canucks are the worst team in the league. The Avalanche are the best team in the league, and the Canucks beat them in an absolute barn burner, 8-6. That is so crazy. Um, yeah, I don't even know what to say about that. That is nuts. But that happened, and it doesn't feel like it did, but it did. So let's talk about the Western Conference because every single team that played yesterday was in the West. So let's take a look at how it's shaking up now. So we got the Avs, the Stars, and the Wild, 1, 2, and 3. You have the Ducks, who lost to the Sharks, 87 points in fourth. The Oilers, who did not play, they have 85 points. They're in fifth, so just 2 points back of the Ducks, and that's why yesterday's loss for the Ducks hurt, because the Oilers can catch them with the win. In the sixth place, the Utah Mammoth with 82 points. The Golden Knights also have 82 points. They're in seventh. And now with their overtime win, the Los Angeles Kings are in the final wildcard spot with 78 points. They have the 8th seed in the West. And then in the hunt, the Sharks have won 3 in a row, and they are 1 point back of LA. They are the 9th seed with 77 points. The 10 Nashville Predators, who came into the day in the 8th seed, and now they are the 10th seed. They also have 77 points. The Jets of Winnipeg have 76 points, so they're just 2 points back of the final wildcard spot. They're on 11th, and then with 75, the Seattle Kraken. And the Blues have 74. They're in 13th. So they are 4 points back, and that's honestly doable. Uh, each team has a different number of games remaining. It varies from 7, and the Sharks have 10, which is the most. So, I mean, there's definitely still a chance for all of those teams to make the playoffs. But we're going to try and focus on the Sharks especially because, I, yeah, I don't know. But every single one of those teams has a chance to make the playoffs, and we just got to see who can play the best hockey down the stretch and who can end up in the playoffs when the regular season is over. So that's hockey. Some games today. We got the Maple Leafs going to the tank to play the Sharks. The Maple Leafs are 32, 30, and 13. They are 7th in the Atlantic, 14th overall in the East, basically eliminated. So that's good for the Sharks. Maybe we can capitalize on that. Some big Eastern matchups over here. The Sabres and the Senators. Penguins, Lightning, Bruins, Panthers, Canadians, Rangers, Red Wings, Flyers. Those are two teams trying to get back in the playoff. Um, the Blue Jackets and the Hurricanes. Blue Jackets trying to stay in the playoffs, and the Hurricanes trying to extend their lead up front. Caps, Devils, Jets, Stars. This is a big game because the Jets are just 2 points back of the final playoff spot, and they have to go up against Dallas, which is not an easy task. Canucks, they play the Wild. The Blackhawks play the Oilers. The Flames play the Golden Knights. The Mammoth play the Kraken, which is a huge game. These last two games are very, 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 very crucial for the Pacific and for the West. The Mammoth play the Kraken. The Mammoth are the 6th seed. The Kraken are the, I believe it was 12. Kraken are just 3 points back, so they really could use a point here, a point or two here. And the Mammoth trying to extend on Vegas, trying to get past Vegas. And the Predators and the Kings, this is the really big game from today. Even though it's not the biggest in terms of like record wise, it's not the two best teams going up today. That would be probably the the Sabres and the Senators or something like that. But man, this is a big game because the Kings are the 8th seed with 70, what was it, 78? And the Predators are the 9 seed with 77. So you could see a lot of flip-flopping here. There are scenarios for each team for one team to be ahead, one team to be back, or be even on points depending on who wins. That's a big game. We'll definitely be watching that one, see how that one shakes out, because that is massive for the division or for the conference. All right. So what we got next? We have we'll talk about the Sharks, preview the Sharks game. The Maple Leafs and the Sharks going tonight. Sharks could really, really use this win. Obviously, every win is pretty much must. Every game is pretty much must win from here on out. So what can the Sharks do to win this one? Well, we gotta try and continue to have power play success. That is the big thing for the Sharks. Is we've had a lot of success on the power play. The Maple Leafs, I think they have a pretty good penalty kill. Can we take a look at that? Yeah, so they're 6th in the league in their PK. As for the power play, they're 21st. So I think it's going to be important to get good goals in the power play. They have a good penalty kill unit, but got to try and draw penalties, and then you got to try and capitalize on those power play chances. That's what we're looking for today. Big game for the Sharks. All right, so let's move on to baseball. Yesterday, the Giants lost to the San Diego Padres. Final score on that one, 7-1. The winning pitcher in this game was Nick Pivetta, who was very good. 5 innings pitched, struck out 8, did not give up a run, 1 hit and 2 walks. The losing pitcher was Adrian Hauser, who gave up 3 runs, but just one of those runs was earned. And he gave up 7 hits and 1 walk over 5 1/3, struck out 4. I think he got, I don't know if any of those runs were earned, to be honest with you. He had a tough, yeah, he had a tough defensive showing behind him. We'll get to that. Um, yeah, we only have 4 hits in this game. Arias had 3 of them, and Bader had the other one. Bader also had a walk. Jung Hoo had a walk, and Rafi had a walk. But lots of strikeouts in this one. And I think Mason Miller, by the way, got the save. 1 1/3, struck out 3, 1 hit. I think, you know, Pavetta, I was watching the game. I had to record the game, so I was watching it during my lunch break and, in intervals whenever I had a break at work. I was watching it, and Pavetta was not as good as the stat line suggested. He had a lot of hanging breaking balls, a lot of fastballs right over the middle The Giants just were missing pitches. They were missing the easy pitches to hit when they were up swinging. And it reflects because Pivetta, once that third inning came, he found the feel for his curveball and he was throwing the high fastball. He was throwing it really high, and the Giants could not lay off it. So Pivetta, there were definitely chances for the Giants to strike on him to get runs off of him. They were just unable to hit the easy pitches. And when that fastball, that high fastball came around, they just couldn't connect on it. So I didn't like that. I didn't like how many strikeouts there were. But watching the game, it was a lot closer than the score reflected for the first like 6 innings. The Giants had their defensive problems, but for the offense, yeah, it wasn't a great performance. Only one run, but there's no like positive thing here. It's like we should have been better. Pavetta was not that good. We should have had more hits and more runs off of him. Gotta iron that out. We also got to talk about the defensive stuff because I thought Adrian Hauser was really good yesterday. He was locating his pitches. He had some nice velocity on the sinker, which I was not familiar with his game on that. But he had nice movement. He's a ground ball pitcher, so he gave up 7 hits, only struck out 4. But hey, I think he gave up 3 runs, but only one of them was earned. I think maybe none of them could have been earned runs because, man, he had some tough breaks out there. Chapman on 2 different occasions charged a grounder through to first, and Schmidt could not field it cleanly, and that happened twice. One of them was a tough play because the throw went into the runner. The other one, well, it was Schmidt's fault. He stretched from the bag way too early, and the throw was on target. And if he had not stretched, he would have easily caught it. The inning would have been over, but instead it went off the top of his glove and went behind him, allowing the run to score. And Chapman, when Hauser got pulled and they were all at the mound, he lit into Schmidt. He was telling him to catch the ball multiple times, and I mean he was right. Now, I think in the post game, he was saying that he'd already went up to Schmidt. I don't think he said he apologized. They just said that they talked about it. I think he even said that we should not make this a big deal. It's already been taken care of. And I trust Matt Chapman. He's a leader on this team, and I do believe that it was taken care of. So we're not going to blow it out of proportion, but it did happen. And that's not something you usually see from Matt Chapman. It does bring up questions, though. Casey Schmidt, he's an outstanding defender, but first base is his worst position. I mean, he plays third base extremely well. He plays shortstop extremely well. He plays second. He plays a good second base too. Problem is, we got Chapman, Arias, and Adames at those other 3 positions. I think would you rather have Eldridge or Devers playing first instead of Schmidt? I don't know because I really don't know like whose defense is best because none of those guys are natural first basemen. Devers was a third baseman who learned first. Eldridge, he's kind of outfielder. He was a pitcher as well, and he learned first. He was mostly playing outfield, and Schmidt came up as a third baseman, then had to learn in order shortstop, second base, and first base. He's not necessarily comfortable over there. He's the whole spring training he was working at third base. He's more of a utility guy, not an everyday first baseman. And he made errors. It said he made one, but I think he made more than that. Um, yeah, he did not have a good game. Hopefully, it's just one thing and it's not going to come up again. But I think they'll definitely work on that. But hey, if it happens again, then maybe Devers needs to start playing first base more. Maybe Eldridge needs to come up and play first base. You also have Gerard, who I don't think is a better defender than any of those guys. But yeah, hopefully we can iron that out because Hauser did not deserve a loss in this one. He only gave up one earned run, and if he had been able to get out of that inning earlier, he could have gone much deeper into the game. I like what I saw from Hauser though, but not what I saw from the defense. So. That was that. But the Giants, it's okay because we ended up winning this series, 2-1 series victory. The Padres just salvaged this last game, so that puts us on 2-4 on the year. After that abysmal start, 2-4 sounds great. And now we got a big test taking on the Mets today. But first, let's go over other scores from around the league. The Braves beat the A's 5-1. Chris Sale, 6 innings, 1 run on 1 hit, 3 strikeouts. Luis Severino gave up 4 earned runs on 3 1/3, struck out 7, walked 5, and gave up 4 hits. Braves won 5-1. The Orioles beat the Rangers 8-3. Trevor Rogers is 2-0 now on the year with a 6 inning pitch, 2 earned runs, 3 strikeouts. He got the win. Nate Eovaldi got the loss. He's now 0-2. 6 earned runs over 4 innings. He struck out 5 on 8 hits. The Pirates beat the Reds 8-3. Paul Skeens got his first win of the year. This is much more natural from Paul Skeens. 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts on just 3 hits. He only pitched 77 pitches, but after the first game where he only did like 40 in less than 1 inning, they're just trying to work him back up. Also, it's the thing of they're not trying to overuse Paul Skeens because he was super, super dominant last year and he rarely went past the 6th inning. They would not let him extend the pitch count. Plus, the Pirates won the game, so you're not going to complain. He saved some bullets there. Andrew Abbott got the loss, 5 2/3, 4 earned runs, 5 strikeouts. The Phillies walked off the Nationals 6-5 yesterday. Christopher Sanchez got the start, 5 1/3, 1 earned run, 7 Ks. He was great again. Cade Cavalli also very good, 1 earned run over 6 innings pitched, struck out 3. The win went to Yohan Duran, who came in and he pitched in the top of the 10th. And then the loss went to Henry. The Phillies scored 1 run in the 7th, 1 run in the 8th, 2 in the 9th to tie, and then Justin Crawford hit a walk-off single to win the game for the Phillies. His first career RBI is a walk-off. Good for him. I'm sure Phillies fans are excited about that. The Rockies beat the Blue Jays 2-1. Kyle Freeland was the starting pitcher, and if you're not familiar with this channel, if you're not familiar with me, if you're not familiar, I want to shout out Mello. I want to shout out Mello real quick because I was playing 2K with Mello and Grant, and he said, Nick, you should pick out one player who's kind of mediocre and just hate on them. Like you know how Flight hates Gobert? Kyle Freeland is my Gobert. I absolutely abhor this dude. I can't stand him. He is such a bum. He's had one good year, and that was like 8 years ago. This guy is a certified bum. This guy is horrible at what he does, and yet he was really good yesterday. Five innings pitched, 1 earned run, struck out 6. I was texting Noah Levesque, and I said, how do you get... He texted me. He said, we just lost a series to the Rockies. I said, how is that possible? He said, Kyle Freeland is really good. I said, Kyle Freeland is a bum. That is what we said. I can't stand this guy. Meanwhile, on the other side, Kevin Gausman had an outstanding outing. 6 innings pitched, gave up 2 hits. That was it. He struck out 10. This dude is on fire with the strikeouts, yet he got a no decision because the Rockies scored one in the 8th on a single from Johnston, and then in the 10th they scored the game-winning run. The Blue Jays had 7 hits in this game and only 1 walk. That's not enough. That's not what you want to see from Toronto, and Noah was not happy about it. Little got the loss, and the win went to Bernardino. Herget got the save. I'm actually pretty high on Herget. I think he's a good player. Rockies have two cool pieces in the bullpen. They got Vodnik, and they got Herget, and I like them both. I want to trade for those guys. All right. The Marlins beat the White Sox 10-0. The big story from this game, Sandy Alcantara. This guy, is Sandy back? He might be. Okay, he might be. Because look at this outing. He threw a complete game shutout. And not just a complete game shutout, he threw a Maddox. And if you're not familiar with the term, it's named after Hall of Famer Greg Maddox, who is famous for throwing complete game shutouts very efficiently. So if you throw a Maddox, it's a complete game shutout. In less than 100 pitches. This is the first Maddox of the year. Sandy Alcantara, 9 innings pitched, gave up just 3 hits and no walks, struck out 7 on 93 pitches. That is elite pace. That's only 3 pitches more per inning than you want to be at. That is, or actually that's not true. It's 12. But so he was on he was on an outstanding pace yesterday. He was very, very efficient. And man, he struck out 7 batters over those 9 innings. The complete game shutout for the former Cy Young winner. Sandy Alcantara dealt with injury problems and struggles over the last couple of years, but can he get back to his Cy Young form? A lot of people are saying he could before the year, and after this performance, I think I'm convinced. I think Sandy is back. I think he is. All right. The White Sox, though, Shane Smith got the start. He got the loss. 3 innings pitched, 8 runs, 7 earned on 8 hits. He only struck out one. Big win for the Marlins. The Cardinals walked off the Mets 2-1. Winning pitcher was Graceffo, and the losing pitcher was Tobias Myers. Starter for the Cardinals, Matthew Liberatore. 6 innings pitched, 1 run, 3 hits, 2 Ks. Freddie Peralta, fastball Freddie for the Mets. 5 1/3, 1 earned run, 7 Ks. So a much better start than opening day. But in the 11th inning, it was Mason Wynn who hit a walk-off single. A little walk-off, just popped behind second base. All right, the Brewers beat the Rays 8-2. The Miz was on the mound for this one. 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 7 strikeouts. Great game for the Miz. And then Rasmussen, 5 innings pitched, 2 runs, 1 earned, 8 Ks. The winning pitcher was Aaron Ashby. The losing pitcher was Griffin Jacks. Gave up 5 runs, 3 earned. Oh boy, 6-run inning in the 8th for the Brewers to win that one. The Astros beat the Bo Sox. Boston has lost 5 in a row. The Astros got the win behind Mike Burrows. 5 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts. The loss went to Garrett Crochet, who got 5 runs, 4 earned, and 7 strikeouts over 5. The save went to Brian Abreu because Hader is not back. The Cubs beat the Angels 6-2. Matthew Boyd had a much better start than his opening day start. 5 2/3, 2 runs, just 1 earned though, and he struck out 10. So a great game for Matthew Boyd, trying to get back on that right path. Kikuchi got the loss. 5 earned runs over 5 1/3, 5 strikeouts on 6 hits. All right, and the Cubs won 6-2. The D-backs beat the Tigers 1-0. Zach Gallen got the win, 6 shutout, 4 hits and 2 strikeouts. The loss was to Tarek Skubal, who gave up 1 run over 7 innings, just struck out 3, but just 1 home run was the difference in this game. And that homer came off the bat of Corbin Carroll. Just the second batter of the game, and that was it. The save went to Jonathan Loizaga. The Yankees beat the Mariners 5-3. Cam Schlittler looks like the real deal, man. Now the Giants begin after Fried and Schlittler pitched yesterday and the day before against the Mariners. It makes me feel a whole lot better about the way we performed against them because he was once again that good. Schlittler, 6 1/3, no runs allowed, struck out 7 and gave up just 2 hits. Actually, is that not the exact same stat line as before? Almost. He threw one more inning and he struck out one last batter. So he was really, really good. And David Bednar got his 3rd save of the year. The loss was to George Kirby, 4 earned runs over 6 innings, struck out 6. The Twins lost the Royals 9-13. Whoa. Noah Cameron gave up 1 earned run over 5 innings and struck out 5. After that, the bullpen for the Royals had kind of imploded because you only gave up 1 run over the first 5 innings, and then they ended up with 9. Joe Ryan got the loss in this one, 5 earned runs over 4 innings, struck out only 3. Pretty high scoring game in this one. The Guardians beat the Dodgers 4-1. The winning pitcher was Gavin Williams. 7 shutout innings, struck out 10. Big outing for Williams. The loss went to Yamamoto. 2 earned runs over 6 innings, struck out 2. That's not even a bad outing. It's just Williams was better. Standout performers today: Gavin Williams, Sandy Alcantara with the Maddox. Lots of big pitching performances. You got Gosman, Schlittler, Boyd, Pivetta, and throwing a little Chris Sale as well. So lots of good starting pitching yesterday. Let's take a look at today's games. Just 3 of them. You have the Giants and the Mets. Robbie Ray versus David Peterson, which is actually a matchup that happened 2 times last year. These 2 pitchers, both lefties, both all-stars. And the funny thing about it is Robbie Ray was the all-star. he pitched on the last day of the first half, meaning he couldn't pitch in the All-Star game because that was just 2 days away. So David Peterson pitched in replacement of him. Robbie Ray still was an All-Star and still got to go to the game and hang out. But Peterson was the guy who got his spot instead. So these two, I always think of that when they go up against each other. And they went up against each other twice last year, which is funny. All right, Robbie Ray. His first start of the year was a pretty good one. 5 1/3, 2 earned runs, only struck out 4. I'm looking for this improvement there. I think the Yankees lineup is really tough. The Mets offense is also very, very tough. But I'm actually a little bit concerned about this game because, the Mets have a good offense. They have Bichette, they have Soto, they have Lindor, they have Robert and Polanco. It's a good lineup. And what I'm most worried about the Mets are who they're starting. They're starting David Peterson, who, by the way, is a left-handed pitcher. And if you know the Giants, the left-handed pitching was our absolute kryptonite last year, and we faced a lefty once so far this year. It was Max Fried, and he dominated us. I'm really hoping that was just Fried being good and not it being a lefty, because man, I if Peterson comes out at the top of his game, we might not get a hit. With that being said, I'm not super pessimistic like that. I still think we're gonna have a good game. I don't know if we're gonna win this one with Peterson on the mound, because if Peterson's rolling, then I think we have no chance. However, never say never. Um, I think Robbie Ray can have a good start as well. Looking for that. It's going to be a tough one. Start of the 4-game series against the Mets. We won't have to see Peralta, so that's good. All right. Even though I think we have ownage on him. The Twins play the Royals. That'll be Bradley versus Reagans. The Braves and the D-backs. Pretty big game, actually. The Braves are studying Reynaldo Lopez, and Ryan Nelson goes for Arizona. Let's talk a little bit basketball. Yesterday, the Warriors lost to the Spurs 127-113. Wemby had 41 points and 18 boards. That's a lot. Uh, the Nuggets beat the Raptors. Or no, they didn't. Who did the Nuggets play? Or the Thunder? I guess the Thunder didn't play. I don't know what I'm looking at. The Kings beat the Raptors. Yikes. Um, Celtics beat the Heat. All right, that's pretty much it. Warriors play tonight against the Cavaliers. The Suns play the Hornets, Wolves, Pistons, Lakers, Thunder. These are some pretty big games going on today. But I'm going to be watching baseball and hockey pretty much. But there are actually a lot of good games going on. So that's exciting. So that's going to do it for today's episode, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And just to recap, the Giants play at 6:45. The Sharks play at 7. The Warriors play at 7. And then other big games that you could watch on national TV. On Amazon, it's the Wolves and the Pistons. And on Amazon, it's the Lakers and the Thunder. Thank you, everyone, for watching today's episode of the Nick Watkins Show. I'll see you tomorrow.